What's up everyone? Top-Notch Tips, episode number 2. Today we're going to be learning the basic stand-up wheelie on the good old seat here. This is pretty and very similar to the sit-down wheelie, but let's go ahead and run through it real quick and show you a few little pointers. Something I feel that's not really talked about when you're learning how to wheelie is the proper handbrake setup and clutch. This can really alter your riding or really help depending on how you have this set up. I do see a lot of people in the beginning, they'll use this finger, clutch up, and then move it to the handbrake. That's not the best idea, just because you can slip at some point, or if you clutch up too hard, you might not have enough time to react and come down here to the lever. Another thing to pay attention to is how the brake and clutch is mounted on the bars. You don't want to have the clutch set up to where when you pull the clutch in, it overlaps your brake finger. So this should be able to move freely around without hitting your other finger, your brake finger. But this is the proper setup on how you should clutch up with the handbrake. You're gonna clutch up, snap off the clutch, and you'll start working the handbrake here. You're not gonna need it till you go past balance point or at balance point, but it's gonna be a proper snatch up, and it'll probably be a second or two till you actually need the brake. I know it might seem crazy to operate the handbrake and the clutch at the same time, but it's all muscle memory buildup. You'll get used to it after a while, and it'll start to become second nature for you. Clutch up quick and fast and get ready to cover that rear handbrake. And once you start hitting the handbrake, you can tap it or ride it softly, and you'll be able to slowly pull an idle down the lot. If you tap it too hard, you're gonna come out of that idle, and you're gonna have to gas it, blip the throttle a little bit to come back in that idle range. Remember, if you're only running at 3,000, 4,000 RPM, anytime you come out of that range, you will not be running idle anymore, and you'll have to be in the gas. Once up in the wheelie and you're in the idle, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. You're just gonna have to do your little counterbalances to keep the bike straight. If you run a little bit lower tire pressure, it'll go a little straighter for you. If you run higher tire pressure, it's gonna kind of wiggle wobble on you. The key to stand-ups in the seat is staying centered on the bike and coming up with the bike, not jumping up too early or coming up too late. Just follow the momentum of the bike like you do a sit-down wheelie. If you clutch up and then lean into the front of the handlebars, you're gonna fight your wheelie coming up, and you're gonna be doing the opposite of what you're trying to do. If you clutch up and you lean back and come back with the bike, you're only gonna work with momentum, and it's gonna work in your favor. Jumping around for the first time can be very scary. Something that you want to make sure you have down is the seat stand very solid. Make sure you feel really comfortable on that. Maybe try some 1 foot off, maybe 1 foot off to the side. Make sure your balance is really all there before you go jumping around on the bike. If you do come down in a wheelie and your bars are crooked, could be a disaster. Once again, if you are going slower, it can save you a lot, and you might stay on the bike and ride it out. If you're going faster, you might get what's called a tank slapper. A lot of times people in a stand-up when going slow will mousetrap. As long as you're going pretty slow, the mousetrap won't be too bad. Yes, if you're going pretty fast and you mousetrap, most likely you're going over the bars. But I just did one for you in the clip. Matter of fact, I blew my fork seals on this one as well, so I will take a donation. But like I said, as long as you're not going too fast and you do actually end up mousetrapping, you're potentially not going to go over the bars. You may just go over to the side, or you may just stay on the bike. I feel stand-ups are easier than sit-downs, but it depends if you're comfortable using the foot brake more or the handbrake more. This is a handbrake trick right here because both feet are off the foot brake. But this is a very good basic trick, and this opens the door to a lot of new things. Your bike might not come up as easy as mine either. I run giant gearing, so my bike comes up with the flick of the wrist. Yours might require a little bit more throttle input. Don't be scared. Everybody's gonna be different depending on what gearing you have. You'll get the feel for it. It may take 500 clutch ups, but you'll get there. Don't get frustrated. We've all been there plenty of times. Took me a solid year to learn just the basic wheelie. So stay tuned. I got plenty more episodes coming, and I hope you all are enjoying it. Top Notch, signing out.